Hello, it's me. Just quickly before the video starts, I want to say that when this video is uploaded, right now, I will be in my Discord, which is in the description, and I will be in a voice channel where you can come and discuss or debate anything Overwatch related with me. And if you don't want to do that, you're free to sit in the voice channel and listen if you'd like to. But yeah, anything from game balance to hero design to the monetization of the game or anything you can really imagine, as long as it's Overwatch related, I'll be doing that today when this video uploads in my Discord server in the description. That's all. Anyway, on to the topic of discussion, which is that Season 9 was absolutely the worst season in the history of Overwatch. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine, but I want to go over why it was so bad. Basically, if you don't know, or you don't remember, Season 9 was the season that made it so that all of the health pools were increased, as well as the hitbox sizes were increased to increase accuracy. And the reason this was done is because burst damage was extremely prevalent in the game. It was the only way to really kill anything in the game because healing was so strong. And it was a way to mitigate the fact that the healing numbers were so high and burst healing was so effective. So what they tried to do was increase the health pools, but increase the bullet sizes so that people were more accurate to compensate for the higher health pools. But the numbers would go unchanged, so burst damage wasn't as effective, and healing was obviously not as effective either. So that was 293 days ago, which was the release of Season 9. Season 9 was 293 days ago, which means that it's taken them 293 days to get us back in the same place we were before, which means that the purpose of Season 9 was almost entirely negated by their shit balancing just in 290 days. We're not even a full year after the season, and yet we are in the same place. Widowmaker is running rampant. It's the only way to kill anything. Super high burst damage AoE healing is running rampant. It's the only way to actually survive anything, and things either die in a microsecond and explode, or are completely invincible, which is why we did Season 9 in the first place. It was to negate that. It was to get rid of that. Yet, all we have done is lower the game quality for everyone apart from the burst damage heroes, because they're, again, the only ones that can compete, but the heroes that do chip damage or lower damage values in general are infinitely worse off due to the higher health pools. For example, Genji. Genji has 27 damage shurikens. That means he needs to land 2 extra shurikens to kill a 250 HP target. But he wasn't exactly benefiting from the projectile size increase anyway, because he has to be point blank to hit anything. The people that mostly benefited from the projectile size increase were the hit scans, because hit scans were already consistent. But the projectile heroes obviously are not consistent, meaning that a slight increase to hit scan bullet size is infinitely more useful than a small increase to projectile size, because projectile is already inherently less accurate and therefore less consistent in general, meaning that, for example, a 10% increase in projectile size does not then necessarily correlate to being 10% more likely to hit your shot, because a lot of the reason you miss on projectile anyway is because you didn't predict enemy movement correctly. It's very minimal. However, to a hit scan hero, now, because you already are clicking on the hero, you can now just miss, but you can sometimes still hit even if you miss, because your bullets are bigger. So the only people that actually benefited from the Season 9 projectile size increase were the hit scans, which were already the dominant force in the game in the poke meta that we had before. That's something like BAP as well. BAP's bullets got bigger, so he got even better, even though he was an extremely big problem for the game. So basically, in summary, the Season 9 changes with the increased size to the health pools and the larger projectile sizes did absolutely nothing for the game outside of making burst damage hit scans stronger. So that means making Soldier weaker, even though he's the most skill-based hit scan in the game. He's now significantly weaker. And making projectile heroes also weaker, because they didn't benefit from the projectile size increase as much as the hit scans did, yet their damage remained lower, or remained the same, but were lower in comparison due to the fact that the health pools were now bigger. So I'm just completely bewildered as to what the purpose of Season 9 was. Now, I will say, when Season 9 released, for the first couple of days, I was like, this season's actually pretty good. And a lot of people were also blinded by that, and they thought, yeah, this is pretty good. And then I very quickly came out and said, you know what, actually, this is dog shit. Actually, this is very bad. And then, I'm sure some people probably realized it before I did, but I was one of the first. And then other people started coming out and saying, yeah, you know what, actually, this isn't very good. And then some people, it took them fucking months to realize, yeah, this actually sucks. I don't like this. Because all it did was make it so that the hit scans were more viable, and the projectile heroes got nothing. So it just made hit scan stronger. And the predominant force of hit scan was Widow and Ashe. So Widow and Ashe got better, Soldier got ever so slightly better, but did not in comparison to Ashe and Widow, and then all the projectile heroes got completely fucked. This also completely annihilated the flow of the game, because angles at 200 HP versus 250 HP are wildly different. For example, a 250 HP hero is obviously harder to push out of an angle than a 200 HP hero, and the same goes for tanks, because tanks were already huge, they were already easy to hit, so they didn't necessarily need the increase in health, but if they didn't get the increase of health, then they wouldn't be too far behind the DPSs, and they'd be way worse off. So you need to increase the health, but if you increase the health, you make them even stronger, even though they were already very strong, so you have to buff something extremely strong to compensate for the fact that everything else got the same micro buff, yet it didn't affect every hero proportionally. So tank heroes got even more busted, projectile heroes got completely fucked, single target healers got completely fucked, hit scan, especially burst hit scan DPS, got way better, and controlling angles as those heroes obviously got way better because you have more natural resources to sit in an angle for longer because the damage numbers did not come up alongside the health. So, when you have a situation like that, it will obviously incentivize you to go the more bursty hit scan hero, because you're going to get through that 250 HP the same as you would the 200 HP because you're bursting. And because the health pools are bigger, you're going to want to go in AoE support because you've got more health to be filling. And if you have more health to be filling, then you're better off healing multiple people at the same time than you would be single target healing them. Meaning that, wait a minute, we're going to be playing the exact same fucking heroes because we just caused the same problem. The reason Season 9 happened in the first place was a complete lack of understanding and complete dog shit game balance. It was not because, oh, that's just how the game has to be, or, oh, that's just what's happening, or any of that. It was, we're too fucking lazy to fix the game, so we're just buffing everyone's health pool, and hopefully that'll iron out the issue. Whereas, clearly, in less than a year, we've completely fucking bollocked the whole game again, which is fantastic. But another thing to consider is it made mechanical skill less rewarding, which is kind of a big deal. For example, if you were very good at aiming on McCree, it made it so that hitting your shots was more valuable, because your overall damage was a higher percentage of the hit pool, or the health pool, apologies. Which makes it so that your mechanical skill is rewarded because you're hitting for a larger percentage. But now that the shots are easier to hit, it means that they're not allowed to be as effective because of the fact that more people are doing it. So you have to make it so, although it's less rewarded, you then have to get less value out of it. But there is no difference between hitting someone in the middle of the chest and at the edge of their hitbox 5 miles to the left of them. It's the same. Meaning that if you're really good at clicking in the middle of their chest, or just really good at clicking in their general direction, you get the same benefit. Which means that if you are good mechanically, you got completely fucked, because you're no longer rewarded for having good aim anymore. Season 9 obviously also increased the amount of counterpicking that was happening, because, for example, if you're on a Genji and you're going against, let's say, a soldier, then what is the purpose of working even harder to try and kill that soldier, because now he's more difficult to kill, Why would I bother wasting my time trying even harder to kill the hero that's already going to be difficult to kill because my hero did not benefit from the Season 9 change, when I could just say, fuck it, I'm just going to go Ashe, who massively outranges him, and I'm just going to bully the shit out of him to get him off his angle. And then he's going to go, well, this was a fucking mistake. There's no way I'm ever getting the Ashe off the angle because my hero does no damage and is really bad. So, fuck it, I'm not getting rewarded for having good mechanical skill on this hero because I do no fucking damage and the health pools were too big. Fuck it, I'm just gonna go a different hero. I'm gonna go the Widowmaker. I'm gonna bully him off his angle as the Widow because I've got more range. And then you go, oh well, why would I bother wasting my time trying to outskill the guy as an Ashe on the Widow because the Widow's just got an obscenely large advantage on me because now I need to have even more to kill him, even though I'm not rewarded for my mechanical skill in the first place anyway. So why the fuck would I bother wasting my time trying to outskill him when I could just pick the hero that more easily attacks the character's weakness? So I'm gonna go Sombra. But then, well, to be fair, Sombra's not as bad as people say she is, but she's not as fucking good, to be fair. But Sombra broke the game in the first place. I fucking hate Sombra. I absolutely despise invisibility. It is dog shit. I do not like it in any way. And I'm not talking about Sombra, so I'm not going further into it, but I hate Sombra. But before, you could just say, well, I'm going to exploit the Widow's weakness, and to some degree you can now, that I'm just gonna go the Sombra. And then he's gonna go, well, there's definitely no way that I'm dealing with the Sombra as the Widow, so I'm just gonna counter the Sombra and just go something that Sombra doesn't kill anymore. So, in summary, Season 9 created larger projectiles for increased accuracy to compensate for the fact that the health pools were bigger. This was to negate burst damage and burst healing because it was too prevalent in the game and it was the only way a team could win, was to go with burst damage and burst healing. You could not work with anything else. Then, 293 days later, we are in the same position where burst healing is the only viable way to heal anything, and burst damage is the only viable way to kill anything, because things either die in a microsecond or are completely invincible. So they've managed to fuck the game up in 283 days, again. However, you would think we'd be back in the same place as we were pre-Season 9, but we are not, because mechanical skill is no longer as rewarded because of the bigger hitboxes and increased health pool sizes, meaning that if you are good mechanically, you are no longer rewarded for that skill as much as you were anymore, making it less important. You are now also less rewarded for finding positional errors in the enemy team due to the fact that people can sit in angles for way longer because their health pools are bigger and most of the damage numbers did not rise to compensate for the increased health pools, meaning that your bad positioning is no longer as easy to punish. It makes the counterpicking significantly worse because each hero's weakness is then made larger because of the fact that every hero was buffed in the health department, meaning that it's infinitely harder to try and outskill a counter because the counter is stronger, meaning that you have to swap hero into whatever counters that hero because of the fact that you are now weaker to that thing's strength, which is obviously a problem. So, after going through the trouble of making Season 9 a reality, we have, in less than a year, completely fucked the game to a point of being worse than when we completely reworked the game. We reworked the game to fix a problem, and then in less than a year, fucked the game so badly that we are now in a position worse off from the point that we reworked the entire game. Every single player is now absolutely having a worse overall experience because player agency was flushed down the fucking toilet, and replacing it was the dog shit counterpicking that everyone has been complaining about for 2 years. That is the balanced team we have, right? And a lot of people were like on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, it doesn't matter, are like, guys, we shouldn't be so mean to the devs or whatever it may be. And, you know, they're people, but you know what? That's kind of their job. Like, imagine you had a plumber come to your house, and instead of fixing the pipes, he just fucking fly-kicked it and just broke all of it, and then was like, yeah, but don't be mean to me because I tried my best. I don't give a shit if you tried your best. What you did was, first of all, you got rid of Overwatch 1. That's not entirely the devs' fault. That's the higher-ups. I agree. But you give me Overwatch 2. You tell me this is going to be a superior product. And then you proceed to shit on me physically excreting feces on top of me, and you're telling me, yes, this is a better experience than the game that you fell in love with. You could play the Overwatch 1, you could play that 12 hours a day, get off, and want to get back on, right? But now, I play Overwatch 2, I play literally 30 seconds of one game, and I / log out and just go, fucking play something else, because it's so bad. And yet, here we are, where 95% of the content creators for the game just sit and go, yes, Blizzard, shit on me more. Shit on me. Yes, I love this. Yes, give me a shit balance patch again. Yes, give me another terribly designed map and game mode that I'm going to despise for 6 more years. Give me more. Give me another anime collab where you print millions of dollars. And then, obviously, continue to fuck the game up even worse than you did for the 8 previous years. But it is what it is. You know, our Overwatch Blizzard daddy overlords will continue to fuck the game as much as they want, because they obviously have Kiriko, and every idiot that plays that dumbass character obviously doesn't have the brain capacity to understand that they probably shouldn't be giving Blizzard hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for Kiriko skins. But who am I to judge them using their money how they wish to use it? Anyway, I'm gonna go just do something else. Something fun that's not play Overwatch, because that game sucks. Goodbye. I love you. Mwah. Goodbye.